Oh, I think I can't send him one of these. Hold on 1 second. We live though.
Yeah, we live, man.
All right, that's cool. Bring us in, man. Bring us in, man.
What's up? What's up? What's up, man? Welcome to another episode of Plug Talk. You got one of your co-hosts, D. Marachi.
Y'all know who I am. Y'all know
Yeah,
who
man.
I am.
Yeah, so we got this has been a hot topic as of recently in regards to this Epstein case, man. It's been boiling up. Stuff has been coming out. The documents have been coming out as far as people partaking in these activities, man. So what you guys say?
Well, be more specific. Which one are we talking about, sir? Who we concerned with, sir?
We talking about Jay Z, man.
Oh,
But
okay.
we
God
we
damn,
we we
boy.
talk about Jay Z, but and we ain't gonna go too much into it. We'll do it another episode. So I'll say this: he thinks I have a favoritism towards Jay Z. I just think he's one of the best to do it. I'm talking about the music, the art. That's all it is to me. What he does personally, that's neither here or there. But on
That
Plug
is.
Talk,
So why is it is African Bombada one of the best to do it to you?
nah, man, he's just one of the founding fathers.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
it.
So nothing these guys do in their real life should be of any concern to the people who are fans or fans of the genre period. This shouldn't matter, right? None of this shit should matter. So R. Kelly should keep his stake in R&B. Because I mean honestly, like it's the top three would have to be between him, Mike, and Prince. In our generations. Do
Yo, and
we
I would
hold
take
R.
nothing.
Kelly? But
I
but
would take
but
nothing.
we
My
have
fault.
took it
Go ahead.
away. We have took it away. We can't say we went to. We had no one mentions R. Kelly no more. It's almost like we wiped the like we wiped him out of history. And this is strictly based on what he did in his personal life. So I this is why I say you're biased because these type of excuses only apply to the people you like. If this was somebody like R. Kelly, they'd be like, nah, dog, this nigga, touching little, you know what I'm saying? He PDF filing, and nah, I can't really, I can't listen to that. I can't fuck with him. But when it's Jay-Z or when it's Puffy or when it's big with all his gay slurs, like we talked about last episode, like you always give these passes for these East Coast cats to do some of the most despicable things in real life. And it's like, oh, well, it's separate from their music. They were great in music. No, you were lying, and you were telling us most of your music that you were into some crazy shit that we overlooked. Like
Yo,
just so we gonna run this town, and I can name you several songs where Jay Z is telling you like, "Yo, bro, I'm really a monster. I do sick shit. I'm in these upper echelon with these other people on islands." Like he was telling us all this shit. Kanye been telling us all this shit. We decided to ignore it because we want to be fans of these people. We want to believe that these people really busted their ass to make $1 billion. How the fuck do you go from Marcy Projects to $2 billion for real, nigga? How? How?
yo, I'm gonna say it
Probably,
like this.
probably by being the wingman for Harvey Weinstein, huh? How about that? How about that? How about making sure they get some little kids to the islands though? I seen a clip, man. Puffy walking up on Jay. He had cameras with him. Jay's coming out of room, and there's nothing but little girls in there. All of them under like 11, 12, 13. He, it, he's coming. I'm not seeing it. It didn't look like any foul play was going on. But you're fucking you're Jay. What the fuck are you even doing in that room? What the fuck could you be of any?
Yo, I'm gonna say it like this, man. And we
Watch the
gonna be
excuses.
real.
Watch the excuses,
Hey,
plug
hey,
talk audience.
everybody turned their back when R. Kelly, when he came out and everybody knew he was married to Aaliyah. Everybody turned their back on him. He came out with I Believe I Could Fly. He's came out with all bunch of TD 2000s, Chocolate Factories, Happy People, all of this stuff. And everybody knew he was married to Aaliyah. And they still bought his music. Come on, man. Yo, I don't even think his first album came out when he
Yo, so
was.
it's this Indian guy, bro, that runs one of the liquor stores I go to, uh, right over here at the bottom of like downtown Hollywood, and he's been married to his wife since his wife was 12, bro. So I'm just telling you this, especially when it comes to the marriage aspect, not just on fucking a bunch of random little girls, which is what he got convicted of later down the line. But as far as it's a lot. This is one of the few cultures in the world where we require the woman to be an adult before she's able to be in wedlock. And there's even certain states here where they consider the adult 16. It's like
Right.
Kentucky and a couple other places, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just telling you, depending on what law you're raised up under, is considering whether you think that's wrong or not. And I think us being generally raised in America, where most of the situations that take place with women or men, you have to be an adult for, we're just that's what rings in our head. But he married Aaliyah, so there was no crime committed there. They didn't press any charges. They didn't press any charges. So we can't bring up Aaliyah. We can say, hey, this is one of those hints. This is when we should have been like, I don't know about this nigga. You're right about that, but there was no crime committed.
Not there wasn't no crime committed. You're right. They was married, so there had to be some consensual there. At the same time, he was married to an underage girl. Allegedly. Well, not even allegedly, it happened. And then he called himself the Pied Piper. Come on, man. You read the Pied Piper when you was in school. You know what the Pied Piper is.
I've been telling you for years that people don't they dumbed us down from paying attention to lyrics. Like I said, it's funny, right? Because you got the internet warriors, bro, the people that make sure the internet never lose, and they'll go find footage from your ass from 1990 if they need to. You know what I'm saying? So when we look back on these people's lyrics and what they were actually talking about, all of them are telling on themselves. At least all the ones that are guilty. I would never say that about Michael Jackson. I would never say that about. It's hard to say anybody else, man. Like I think the rest of these cats, Puffy told on himself. I think Jay has already done it. You know, Jay is about to be in the same situation Puffy's gonna be in within the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't mean in like all the accusations from like freak offs and shit like that. I think, like I told you, before Puff even got this far, this is when before the Cassie ass whooping tape came out. I told you, I said, man, they about to line Puff up. And then I told you back then, I said, Jay-Z next. You was like, nah, bro, you couldn't see it because in your mind it was like Jay, like to the most of the world's mind, like to my mind before my eyes was open. It's like, yo, this nigga smart. This nigga seems like he has all the tools to make it where he's at. Nah, bro, I don't give a fuck what to. You know how many black geniuses we've had that never made it financially to no level.
You're right. You're right.
So this isn't because of the genius of this man. This is because he's participated in exactly what we thought we would never find out about. And these Epstein files is just like the cracking of the surface. And I think that it's more important to worry about Jay-Z's role in these Epstein files than it is for us Americans to be worried about Donald Trump. It seemed like they were only worried about these Epstein files because they thought this was going to have some horrific shit about Donald Trump in it, just so they could pinpoint out how more racist and all this other bullshit that black culture likes to do. But as soon as we
Right.
found out there were some people that we like involved in this shit, and you rather ignore it because you like these motherfuckers, says a lot about our culture, bro.
Yeah, and then there was nothing in there that was mentioned to Donald Trump. Like Donald Trump got a bad rep for that, and he wasn't even mentioned in the thing. But
Right.
I think he gets a bad rap overall. I'm not saying that he's the best president or whatever the case may be, but I think that I would say he's the most realistic. He's the most realistic president.
Well,
That's
he's been the only. I'm gonna say there's been two people who have had a full onslaught of war and media propaganda put against them, and we weren't alive for one of these guys. I'm gonna say Hitler, and then there's Trump. He has a media war propaganda against him. This is why these stereotypes of him has came up. It's all propaganda from the media. They didn't want that man in power because he was going to be the only person to ever release these files. They had plenty of chances to release these files before he got in office. They didn't want to release them files because, as you can see in those files, who else is in there? Who's accused of criminal crimes in there? A lot of Democrats, including two of our former presidents.
yeah, Barack. He was in there. Other one was what? Clinton.
Biden's in there. Yeah, Clinton's in there for sure. They all were into these PDFing and bringing these families, these overseas motherfuckers taking their children and doing this fucked up, killing them, rituals, all type of shit, bro. They start bringing up the what's her name? Marigoth, I forget her name, Maravich. Uh, she does like the spirit cookings, and like us as a culture had no idea who this white lady was that Jay-Z was dancing with on the song. On the song, damn, what's the name of the song? That it's named after the artist, the actual artist. Um, damn man, it was on what album was that on? 444
Okay.
or was it Blueprint 3? Damn, I usually be on point with my Jay Z songs, man. You know I do.
Yeah. You be on point, man.
But he was in the art gallery, and you seen a lot of celebrities. I see Taraji P Henson in the background of the video. They're all like surrounding him in like a box formation, and he's just like bringing certain individuals out, and then they're having a moment, like they're kind of dancing with each other, or he's rapping to them. Picasso, that's the name
Picasso.
of the song. Picasso. On that video, he has this spirit cooking lady, this white woman that is known for she paints, it does artwork, but she does it with real human blood. Everything's in red. She's got her walls covered in her house, all in real blood. This shit is just like it looks disgusting after a few days. I'm sure her house stinks. Uh, but what would you, as a rapper, have a connection to this type of person for? And even if you do got a connection with this type of person, why would you bring her into the video? Because I know he looks back on that at this point and be like, "That's a super mistake."
Yeah. So the full song, you were right. It's Picasso Baby. That's the name of the song. But yeah, you was right though. Picasso Baby after on the Magnum Carter album.
See, all we're gonna recognize is the actors, actresses, entertainers that we know. We're not recognizing who the real powerful people were in that video because they're not of our culture. It's not anything that we personally, especially on these what I would call regular human being levels, we would even have any idea who these people were. We wouldn't. They could walk past us every day and we wouldn't know shit. I happened to look this lady up, and when I found out who she was, I'm like, yo, why? And then they had the most intimate scene on there. They touching foreheads and shit. And I'm like, this looks crazy when you look back on it. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It looks insane. So I'm just like, damn, like it's no instead of us looking at this as for what it is and possibly being like, yo, we might have to erase him out our culture. We can't trust him no more. We rather save him because I guess everybody else took a fall. But you wouldn't take a fall if you wouldn't play in their game. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Yeah, you're right. They do a lot of demonic stuff. They do a lot of like symbolism and all that type of stuff. And it's like, why are you doing that for? If it's just music. But music is one of the entryways to influence you as well too. And it got
Absolutely.
yeah,
We see the impact that music has had on our culture. We were blessed in what I would call like the golden era of hip hop. So what I mean by that is, bro, that we were young during the birth of hip hop. We were here when hip hop actually first started to make its way onto mainstream. We were here for the Run DMCs. We were around for the LL Cool J's. We watched this shit and we're huge fans of it growing up as kids. You know what I'm saying?
but yeah. Yo, shout
So
out Dirt's in the building. What's up? Me in the comment section was good, man.
shout out to little bro.
Know what I
Appreciate the
mean?
support. But real talk, bro. Like we watched hip hop get to where it's at. And you can see in our culture today how much hip hop has influenced us. I gotta be 100, bro. Just being real with you. Hip hop had a major influence, especially on some of the decision making uh, that I had growing up. And remember, I used to tell you, like, damn, man, it's funny that all these artists, now that we've gotten older and we've gotten to see their history, like, man, I sent you the Havoc video. This was Havoc in like 97 ish, doing an interview. And he was like, they showed a throwback clip of him where he was like, "Nah, I don't really like Tupac. He doesn't do our type of music. Like to keep your head up. I mean, it's all right, it's cool, it did numbers, but we do a different type of music." He was like, I didn't become a fan of Tupac till they start dissing us. And now it's more like, oh yeah, this is our type of music. Nigga, you were a ballerina. We got the pictures, we seen you. You grew up from a different type of home, bro. Like, stop. This was all the act these guys are putting on, which makes it so ironic to bring it full circle. Right before Prodigy died, Prodigy was talking the same type of shit Tupac was. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
Jay Z
That
definitely sold his soul, Dirt. He definitely sold his soul.
yeah, yeah. They again they do a lot of demonic stuff. And if Jay Z and any of other rappers is partaking in it, do we just throw away all the rap music? Because
Yes,
it's
we have to. It was the destruction of our culture. That's like saying, oh man, but you know, do we throw away all the drug dealers? Because I mean, we still got money making Mitch out of that, and we got to laugh at how Nino Brown would. Like, fuck that! It destroyed our culture. There's no glory in that.
the
There's no glory in when you realize what they were doing. There's no glory. Why would we support it any further? You got to go. He's out of here. You gotta go. You gotta go,
so
bro.
so if we're noticing this from R&B to hip hop, right? We dismiss all of the music. Who do
We
we carry
dismiss
on?
the people who weren't involved in anything, the people who don't have the history of dealing with these upper echelon demonic people. Do it now. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Let's take a guy like Scarface, who we know was up under Jay Prince. We know the feds were trying to get him, Irv, and Suge at one time because they were trying to be the first black people to distribute music, to be distributors. And the rumor is Jay Z and Puff uh, went to them and gave them information about Suge, Jay Prince, and Irv Gotti, which got the feds on all of them. And we seen every last one of them catch a case, but Jay Prince. Irv and them beat theirs miraculously, They had to get Suge on his reckless behavior because they couldn't get him on anything else. And then we seen the feds attacking Jay Prince for years. So we can kind of look at it like, okay, under these guys' lineage, we don't see any dealings with these higher cultures of demonic people. You get
Right.
what I'm saying? So we got to keep
Yeah.
those. And my question to be to you, was Jay Z really that good, or did they make sure he looked that good?
Yo.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yo. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. A lot of his accolades and things are inflated. They definitely are inflated. That's why I never put him in, like, just say like a top three or a top five. I think that that would be inflated for Jay Z. But a lot of when these like billboards and a lot of it when they come out with these lists of what you call greatest of all times, they always put Jay Z within that top three, definitely top five. I don't think so. I think a lot of his stuff, because of his position and power, they put him there, and I don't think that that's right.
I
If
agree
we're
a
just
hundred
going
percent.
based, if we just go based off of catalog and just
Yeah.
say ability and skill, I
Hmm.
would say he's top 10. You probably don't think he's top 10, but I would say top
No,
10, but I don't think he's top 5. If we're taking all the
I don't think
bias.
he's.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think he's top 10, and like a lot of that for me comes from what I from these allegations, not just now, just things I've seen probably throughout the last 10 years of him. I've heard Jay Z's music played backwards. That was some of the most dirt. I said some of the dirt. This was probably like 10, 15 years ago. Um, when we were seeing this type of shit with him, man. So his pattern, if you pay attention to detail, has showed you he's aligned with some different shit. The fact that Dame Dash is in the position he is today will let you know he's aligned with some other shit. You know what I'm saying? Seriously.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he
Beyonce
did.
was a
Go ahead.
country American doll when she came out. Sweetheart. Easy on the eyes and a beautiful speaker as well as singer. You don't even see her doing interviews or nothing no more. Like you don't have any clue what type of grown woman she became into. We knew what type of young girl she was, her teenage years with Destiny Child. But as an adult woman, you really have no idea who she is. There's something that's a little bit kind of crazy about that. I don't know how many times, how many artists, and every huge artist you can think of, have all said some type of sentiment of selling their soul or conjuring up different entities. Beyonce had Sasha Fierce. You know what I'm saying? Jay Z had a bunch of them. Hove, he said when he made the Black album, he went into his Rain Man phase. You know what I'm saying? We've heard DMX say so. This so hell in the beginning of Belly, the character DMX was about 4 years old in the middle of a 6 point star doing a demonic seance at like 5. You know what I'm saying? Like they put that right in our face for a reason because they know as long as they got celebrity and status that we're gonna admire. They seen how much we admire success.
Yeah. Yo, you got Nicki Minaj, Roman, like, yeah, man.
You
So
know,
yeah, huh?
I mean, like I said, Snoop had one of the biggest, probably I could think of in hip hop, selling your soul records. With Murder Was the Case. Yo, he literally gets shot. The devil comes into his hospital room and
Yeah.
tell him, "Bring your lifestyle to me. I'll make it better." Snoop said, "How long would I live?" He said, "Eternal life and forever." How would I be the G that I was? I'll make your life better than you could imagine or even dreamed of. So relax your soul. Let me take control. Close your eyes, my son. My eyes are closed.
Mm.
Murder. What? Video, huge hit, number one on the charts. And this is a song about selling your soul.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy, man. And like a lot of stuff, it does go under the rug
And
at the
then
end of the day.
when you get a couple of smart guys. Shout out to the smart guys like us, literal smart guys and smart guys. You know what I'm saying? But when you get these type of people that's kind of like, yo, this kind of awkward, and niggas start asking questions, all they got to do is do an interview and be like, oh no, this is entertainment, it's art, it's this. You know, okay, we know you got a team of people that help you come up with that type of idealism, but that's not when has selling your soul been a part of black culture? Where does the average black man go to meet the devil to have these options? This isn't a part of our culture. It's not. This is not a part of hip hop. It didn't become a part of hip hop until they realized the money and the weaponry they can make out of hip hop. This is why they had that hip hop meeting in the '90s. Me and you talked about that Crazy Bone spoke on. That's what the
Right.
meeting was all about.
So yeah, go ahead.
Jay
The
Z was getting all the praise in the world when they elected him to be the person who sets up the Super Bowl acts. And when Jay Z came out the gate, his first couple of years of doing this, he set it up strong with some great acts, some classic people. Dre and them did the Super Bowl. My team went to. You know, shout out to the Bengals. We gonna slide that in there real quick. But you know, they brought Dre and them out, had Eminem 50 out there. You know, the next year he follows it up with Kendrick, and you know, he was bringing out super major talent. Everybody got quiet this year when and act like all of a sudden this was the NFL that selected for Bad Bunny to be the performing act. No, 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 no. Because last year they were arguing about Little Wayne should have been the person that got to perform in New Orleans. We knew who was calling that shot and why they was calling it. Me and you talked about it. Why he was choosing Kendrick, why he had beef with them guys. So it's kind of like a power move and smack in the face. Have we forgotten who has this power? Have we forgotten who has the power to decide in New Orleans if Little Wayne performs or Kendrick Lamar performs? So answer
but
me
see,
this: what and why Super Bowl was held in San Francisco, one of the rainbow communities of the United States, one of the biggest rainbow communities in the United States, and you select a rainbow artist, one of the biggest rainbow artists, probably out there in the game right now, to be in the Super Bowl. What alliances you showing to that? Where's the alliance? How many? Let me ask you this, and I just want everyone to take heed to this in the audience. How many Spaniards or Spanish culture or Mexican football players are there? I'll wait.
not many, not many. I don't even understand, and you know nothing against him personally, but I don't even understand how somebody like a Bad Bunny would even perform. I don't understand that. In an American football now, if it was soccer, then that
Now,
would be a little bit different. But
what's
American
majority of
football,
the
nah.
what's the majority of the audience at a soccer game?
The Latin America, Spanish. They're,
What's the audience at football games?
um
At American football games, they're Americans.
yeah.
I'm not saying there's no other race. There's not Puerto Ricans and Haitians and Mexicans that watch American football. We're not saying that, but you're not even they're not even 20%, I would say, of the demographic of football fans across the country.
Yes.
Just being 100, bro. Like just
Mhm.
being 100.
Yeah, we're talking about.
So shout out to Lil Broski. He just hit us with the fun facts. There's 32 teams. The average roster keeps 53 man rosters and 15 on the practice squad. As of the start of the 2025 NFL season, there were only 47 players of Latino descent. 47. There's over 1,500 players in the NFL, and
Hmm.
out of 1,500 players, you get 47.
Yeah, that doesn't even make a whole football team. That's a
Right.
53-man roster.
They don't. It's not even enough Mexicans in football to make one team. Like what?
So yeah, I thought that was a bad move. I understand globally he's a international phenomenon, but something that's primarily an American sport, nah. I think that Bad Bunny was a bad move, man. Him performing in that
He has
sport.
alliances. It's bigger than us. It's bigger than hip hop. He's not for us. He has to. He has to do what he's aligned to do. And I think that just showed us exactly what type of people he's in line with Roger Goodell. I sent you the video today where the owners of the Barclays, when they were trying to get the building built, had sent emails to Epstein about how they didn't know who to select to make these things go through. And the person she mentioned that he might need to reach out to was Jay-Z. And Jay-Z helped them get it done for 0.01% ownership of the Barclays Center. They gave this nigga some front row seats, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for you to re-gentrify Brooklyn, bro. Like it doesn't like those type of moves would never. If it was Clarence Thomas, I don't know if you remember who he was back in the day. They called him an extreme sellout and shit. Put his business all out in the streets. But if somebody like that was making these moves, it'd be more obvious to us what the goal was here to re-gentrify Brooklyn. But when Jay Z makes it, he can say, "Oh well, I was thinking how I can help uplift the economy and bring so much money." That's the same thing they say to us when they regentrifying it.
Hmm.
Then they send you somewhere to the outskirts where you got to pay the most money to even come enjoy the things from where you just left from, where you grew up your whole life at, or you had a family lineage at.
Right.
I just think that our culture is embarrassed if Jay Z is a part of this shit, which those Epstein files are not lying to y'all. Y'all can't have it both ways. Y'all can't say, "Oh, this shit was as real as it gets." When y'all thought Trump was all in it, and then when you get the Epstein files and you find out Obama and Jay Z, Pusha T, and all type of people you loved are in it, now it's fake. Now it's AI. Nah, you can't have it both ways. Now that we see that these type of people are mentioned in these files doing horrible things, what do we do as a culture? What do we do as a people? Do we just overlook this or do we take our culture back? We
Now,
shouldn't have
now,
never let our culture be in their hands in the first place. Go
now,
ahead,
what I'll
Marlon.
say to that, this is what I'll say. How many of our families have Epstein files on them?
I don't know anybody who would ever be mentioned in the Epstein
No,
files,
no, no,
bro.
no, no, no. I don't mean like that. What I mean is they have their own skeletons in the closet.
Yeah, well, I say this, not none of mine, because they would be a skeleton at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like that didn't exist in my family. I'm not going to say there's families where that didn't exist at, but you would hope that they have some family members that will hold that down and make sure that is forbidden for ever taking place in any of your family lineage. But has it happened? Yes. We would have to get a better stat to know what we're up against when we're talking about that, though. Like, because me and you both know, majority of those cases are probably going to be females, younger females, and we've seen how much women have lied over the years on men. So how much of that can we take as truth if it isn't a reported case? It's almost like I can't take it as factual evidence if there wasn't a family member sit somewhere, jail, something, prosecuted somehow, killed by a family member, even if it boiled down to that. Because I know some men that just won't stand for any of that.
Right.
So
And
I don't know if that applies to our supposed superheroes.
but I know, well, I don't know if you heard it, but I definitely heard this in just saying my family household. What happens in this house stays in this house. And I know that they weren't the first ones to come up with that saying, but that saying
Of course
has
not.
grown, huh?
I said, of course not.
Yeah. So I'm like, stuff like that. A lot of people, they don't want to turn their back on Jay-Z, because then it starts to have a trickle effect. And like you say all the time, like holding these other women accountable will be holding themselves accountable. So you hold somebody like Jay-Z accountable, you're going to be holding yourself accountable.
That
We have turned our eye on a lot of things when it comes to our culture and communities that we live in. We've turned the eye.
I don't think we've turned the eye. I just think we weren't aware. We didn't have full context. We're not in those circles. We are not. So if you take away our entertainers and our athletes, how many successful black people are there? How many $100 million black people do we have that gotten degrees and own companies? Like we don't have a lot. So we're not in these circles to even know what's going on. You know what I mean? So like I can't agree with you 100%. Yeah, shout out Jay. I see you. I can't agree with you 100% because we're not aware of if somebody's selling us out or not. And then because of the strong media hold that they have on culture today, especially since social media has came into play, a lot of things are just covered up very well. Like
Just not
when somebody starts coming forward like a Kanye, they label him crazy. So it's dismissive. They did the same thing to Dave Chappelle. They label you crazy so you dismiss them. And then we stopped doing it. We stopped doing it.
yeah.
We
So
stopped even worried about what it's the same thing that happened with R. Kelly. As soon as he beat the case, who was he go on tour with? Jay-Z of all people. Jigga Kelly not guilty. You know what I'm saying? Now we overlook this shit. And then he has a co-signer with Jay-Z.
yeah, yeah. But he's been sprinkling it throughout the time.
Yeah. Of course, we just kept overlooking it because when he sprinkles his disasters in, then Jay Z takes over a liquor company, or then he gets the Super Bowl, so he gets these levels of success. He gets upgraded to another notch in their column while he's doing this sick shit that we have no idea about, and then the accolades overlook the distractions.
Yeah, I think it happens not on the level of like a celebrity, but I think a lot of stuff does happen. I think a lot of like family members, they go through their personal things, and then they have
But
go ahead,
you
go
can't
ahead.
you can't use a lot unless we got some numbers to vouch for that. Like I said, what's the numbers that we can use? How many of these were reported? If it stayed in the house, then we can't determine if it happened or not. If somebody's not going to
We
confess to it, then it's really hearsay. Especially if there was nothing, there was no rape case, there was nothing, and just as many cases that we don't know about, there has been cases that happened where they went straight to the police and something was done about it. It's been a lot. It's been a lot of, you know, moles, molesters, and PDFs that we have seen, bro. In these times, bro. And these cases happen. So, that's all I can go off of is those cases. I can't go off of what we know could be possible. We can't go off of that because we can't. We have nothing to prove it by. But one person saying, "Oh yeah, I grew up and my uncle touched me." Okay, where's your uncle? Well, he been dead 20 years now. Okay, we can't go off of that. We can't go off of that.
okay. All right. So yeah, you well, you know, They have to pull up some data and things
I-
like that, stuff
if
that
you
we can count. Okay.
if you didn't, it's not valid. And it's not saying that it couldn't have happened to you,
Okay.
but it's just like, yo,
That's
it's
very
not
fair.
valid.
That's
Hmm.
that's very fair. That's very fair. That's something we could touch upon that, or at a later time, I
So
should say.
so what do we do about Jay-Z, bro? Like, do we continue to be silent as a culture and act like we did not get word he's in these Epstein files? Do we act like that this didn't happen because Jay-Z?
The thing is that Jay Z, he doesn't do a lot of interviews, so they don't, and he's not. So I was like, as far as like asking him questions or anything like that, like you're never gonna get anything out of him. But if he did partake in those activities, nah, we should banish him if he did,
It's
if he
not a if
partook in.
it's not a if he did. These type of level of we're talking about Epstein that's connected to the 13 families, bro. Like, he did interviews before he died, telling how he got involved in these type of things. You're talking about the wealthiest of the wealthiest people on this planet, man. You're talking about people who don't gotta work for Roger Goodell and come up with halftime gigs. You're talking about people that could buy the NFL itself as a league. That's what type of individual money and power they have. They're not mentioning these. Excuse my French. They're not mentioning these low bum that they're bum niggas. These niggas' net worth is maybe a billion. And that's if they
Mhm.
cash out everything at his highest peak net worth. There's no way Jay Z has $1 billion sitting in his bank account.
No
We know
way.
that's not. Yeah, we know
Right.
that. So these guys are still bums to them. There's no way they mention these guys unless they use these guys as weapons on us.
Right. Okay.
Period. It's not a if he did it. The only reason why he's in there because he's part of it. How many times have we seen Jay Z with Harvey Weinstein
Yo, we
that we
we
know was highly connected to Epstein?
but what we do know is that there's other people that have been around him as well too.
Uh,
Not just Jay. There's been other people. Dame did a movie with him.
Hey man, we not about to sit. Okay, that could have been the beginning, and then they realized who the weakest link was and ran with the weakest link. The nigga who had the least amount of conscience. The nigga that was the most selfish. That wanted to be him from day one. He wanted to be that nigga. He
Right.
wanted to be.
Yeah. So
So
I'm
we're
like,
not going to sit up here. We're not going to sit up here and talk about Dame. And Dame hasn't been accused of any criminal activity in these Epstein files. That means that he didn't participate. Jay is not only accused, he's accused more than once. And then there's several other plays where they're basically telling you like, yo, if you want somebody to convince the culture to do the most heinous sellout shit they could possibly do, reach out to Jay-Z. Man, that is a spit in our face.
but
Like,
we
like the criminal shit can be punished by jail sentences. The shit he participated in to destroy this culture, you can't penalize that. Even by death of that man, we couldn't. The damage is already done, bro. And then the damage was implemented on us for 20 straight years from him. You can't get that back. You can't, whether we banish the man or not. You can't get back the damage he caused is already done. The people he X'd out the game, the people he made irrelevant, the people he blackballed. Black Thought said the man blackballed him, bro. The man's a demon, dog. We just didn't want to look at it that way, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a fucking demon. He's a demon to our culture, and we don't want to believe that. I'm gonna tell you what the problem is with our culture. Our culture is so Americanized today. And what I mean with Americanized is exactly what Malcolm X said was going to happen to us. We have fully committed to the American game, to the American dream. So now success is our God. You know what I mean? So they have utilized that as a weapon towards us. And they didn't have to come politically do it to us. They just put a bunch of niggas in successful positions, did them like Martin Luther King and made them think like, yeah, fuck your 40/40 restaurant. You can come over here with us, Jay, and sit with us. And that sellout coon ass nigga thought that they table was better than his. He left us a long time ago, bro. A long time ago. Matter of fact, he was never with us. Never. Jay Z is the quiet nigga that sits in the back and figures out how he manipulates the whole room. That's what ugly niggas do, man.
Oh man, like the
You're not gonna win from charm, motherfucker. Like that's not gonna work for you. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work for you. You don't have a great personality at all. So how else do you be the biggest light in the room? Is you have to learn how to put yourself in a position that everybody in that room will need you, and then you have your way. Who's gonna run this town tonight? We as a culture, bro, we do a bad job with separating the success from the moral principle. We as a culture, we have no more moral principle. We haven't had leadership in probably 60, 70 years. Since like that Malcolm X era, since like the Black Panther era, we haven't had any leadership. So we don't have anybody to help us align with something that makes sense for us other than success. And then look at the attitudes, look at the displayers of the people with success. Look how they act. Like look at our successful black men. They're all under 30, or either they made it above 30. They all started in their 20s. They all were getting money young. They all were abusing the money with, overpriced cars, jewelry that they paid more money for than actually holds value. And this is what they were teaching to us. So in my era, when I was in high school, graduating high school, getting into manhood, we're talking late 90s, 97, 98. I turned 18 in 98. This is what was being sold to us. We was walking into that bling bling era with the hot boys. Jay Z was talking all that major successful dope boy shit. You know what I mean? Like we were crossing over into oh, you ain't really that dude unless you got money. We were crossing over into that. And then 5, 8, 10 years later, after that, it was oh shit, it ain't tricking if you got it. Like our whole moral compass. Yeah,
right,
our whole moral
right.
compass in a matter of 10 to 15 years went from manhood to this almost, if you look at how our culture operates today, it's damn near Epsteinish, just on smaller levels. If I say something wrong, please correct me, sir.
Nah. I'm just saying, like, yeah, that's sad, man. Yo, I agree with everything you just said. You just went in a circle with what I was saying. Like, that's all it was. But
I had to
let's,
elaborate, sir.
huh?
I had to elaborate. I just elaborated it for you, man. That's
Yeah.
all.
So I mean, and me and you have talked about this, and I'm like, we could talk about this another episode. I don't think we have a culture as black people, man. I don't think we have a culture. I
All
think
right,
that,
we can part two this with that on Wednesday. I still
yo,
don't. I don't agree.
I think I think we've made good strides and good efforts, but it's never been nothing to where we have something like concrete.
It always has been that we had something concrete. The problem is we don't have any resources to own what our culture creates, from jazz music to the funk era to hip hop. Yeah, we created these. This comes primarily from our culture. This comes from nothing. The hip hop comes from the dudes at the park freestyling against each other. Nothing written, with no studio, with no beats. Niggas might beatbox in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And you rap to that. Niggas might take a bucket and beat the drum with a stick. You know, or beat the bucket with a stick. It came from nothing. It came from that. They stole it from us because they were able to own it, produce it. They stole our culture from us. You can't say we don't have it because we've created many of them. They
I don't think
stole it from us.
I don't think we'll continue Wednesday on it. We'll continue
Yeah,
Wednesday
you had to
on.
think about that, didn't you? Like, fuck.
No, 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 no. I don't have to, but you know,
All right.
with people on this Epstein file and them partaking in these activities, like we see the crumbs ahead of time. And like when we see these crumbs, instead of just cleaning these crumbs up, we just let it accumulate until it creates a loaf of bread. We are doing this all the time. This is happening in our homes. This is happening. This is happening everywhere. And we say nothing.
We have no leadership, B. Marachi. Our culture, if you was to put an age thinking capacity on our culture, our age thinking capacity for our culture is about 18. Versus, let's just say, the Caucasian. I would say that their age bracket for their coach is about 35. That's their thinking capacity. They think as a group, as adults. We don't even think as a group at all. But if we work, we can't even come together as a group because we our thinking capacity is about 18 years old. So we're still in segregated groups. Yo, me and D Mirachi, this our crew over here. We don't fuck with them niggas over there. We all go to the same goddamn school. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the
Right,
fuck's really going on here? I don't
right,
fuck with them niggas from that other block over there. Why not? Y'all
right.
all come from Harlem, nigga. What the fuck? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you
You
all
all
from the
come
same
from
city.
Watts. They all
Yeah,
come
y'all
from
come from
Watts.
all come from
You
Watts,
know what
bro.
I mean?
Like, what? Yeah, straight up. You all
Stop
come
it,
from
man.
one area. Why? I mean, not LA's probably the worst, bro, when it comes to that segregated mentality, bro. LA has got to be the one of LA and Chicago has to be two of the worst place, and New Orleans. When it comes to that shit.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then we're going to war. We're taking lives behind parts of town we don't even own the cribs we live in.
We don't own nothing.
So how the fuck are you claiming this like it's yours and you willing to die behind it? And
Right.
as soon as you die and that rent can't be paid no more, your kids and your baby mama getting kicked out of there. Now they going from the fourth ward to the ninth ward.
They ain't gonna move somebody else in. That's what's gonna end up happening. I don't care.
Well, I'm just speaking on the fact that you can always trick a person that doesn't know what's going on. And I just believe that we are not intuitive enough and we're not in tune with what's going on with anything outside our culture, which makes us dumb. If we were boxers, you can't just be like, oh, I'm the baddest motherfucker. I hit like Mike Tyson. I'm in the gym every day. and you don't never study your opponent. You don't know what you're fighting up against. You have no idea what
Right.
his strengths and weaknesses are. That's how we are as black culture. We don't have any idea what anybody else is up to outside of us.
Right. And then to even further elaborate on that, like once we get to a certain level, we don't challenge ourselves to evolve and grow as well either. We don't do that. We stay at one level and we're comfortable
Hmm.
instead of growing and challenging yourself. If you want to get to a Mike Tyson, you're not gonna get to Mike Tyson overnight. You gotta gradually grow yourself and evolve and will have the ability to want to learn as well. That's what you have to do
Absolutely.
if you want to evolve. Like me staying where I'm at in this neighborhood all my life, I'm not gonna know people. And we have these conversations, and especially with females, on where we met in the streaming world to even on here and in our everyday lives. It's like, yo, y'all don't go and talk to other females. And I'll even say this: when we was in the streaming world, right? I would ask a female, but like, yo, do y'all go to other girls' streams? They would say no.
Well, even if they do, right? Because they started clicking up in them things. They all only become friends because of their vast ability to deceive, manipulate, and lie to each other. So the women can't form strong sisterhoods with each other. They form manipulation, deceptive groups that keep the women weak and make sure that the women on top of those organizations are financially compensated for it.
Right,
So
right.
there,
Is yeah,
it's not like they can form a great coalition amongst each other. They can't get along longer. Listen, most of the women that have female friends, look, they ain't been friends that long. They might have one or two they known for 15, 20 years. They ain't got no long lasting friendships with most of their friends. They knew.
right. And
Those are
it's
their
like, yo,
friends right now. They're in the same positions in life. They're in the same transition in life. See, I don't even want to bring up the women because they're not even a topic. But women, uh, their whole adult mentality is to be able to use what you got to get what you want. So if you are a user, then you can never be beneficial to another user unless y'all using people together.
AKA for convenience. That's what it is. Convenience. What you just said right there.
So let me get this
Hmm.
closing statements on Jay Z. Do we believe the Epstein files? Do we deep dive some more into why these things can be true? And is Jay Z's cancel our culture, including his history? Closing statements. Go ahead, Dimarachi.
What I'll say is this, and this is what I will say. You don't want me to use the word if, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
I know you
If
want to.
Jay-Z
Fuck out of here.
partook in these Epstein files, what came up in these Epstein files, he would be a disgusting human being. I couldn't look at his music or his art the same. I would have to second guess it. And yo, I would be disappointed in myself because I've gotten influenced by the lyrics in his music, um, from the dressing, all of that stuff. Got influence from him, and I couldn't look at it the same, and I would be disappointed if it was, but he would have to be banished because he's been put in a high position when it comes to blacks and elevating. Yeah, he would have to be banished from from um from I would say from us and representing us as a people.
Yo, man, I wanna say first off before I get in my closing statement, shout out to D Marachi. I just witnessed some growth in a 1 hour episode because all of you guys that were in here with us from the beginning, he said it doesn't matter what a person does outside of the music. And convinced him in one show that it does matter what you do outside of the music. That matters the most, you know what I'm saying, out of everything. Because we had the discussion before when I told you looking at Big's lyrics, if he was still alive and we found out that he was actually, part of the rainbow community, yes, I have to kick Big as dope as he was. He gotta go. I don't fuck with dope demons, bro. Of course, a demon dope. A demon been here for a long time, man. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers are possessed with things, entities, rituals that we can't even fathom, bro. We wouldn't even believe it's that dark because we live in Disneyland. We live in the fantasy world, man, where the toughest thing in your day is your job or your ratchet ass baby mama when you go home. However, as far as Jay-Z go, uh, I'm no different from you, D Marachi. When Tupac and Big passed, may they rest in peace. Jay-Z was that guy to me. I was leaning at Nas at one point, but you know that volume one, I understood. I understood Reasonable Doubt. The first time I played, you know the story with me. That Reasonable Doubt didn't come out for 2 weeks. The first time I popped it in, my brother stole all my tapes and CDs. Uh, and Jay Z was my guide to about 2008, bro. So he had about a 10, 12 year run with me, and then that's when I started noticing things weren't the way it seemed, and I started realizing there's another part to this. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think his influence and his impact on me lasted as long as it did on you. But at one point in time, I bought into that too. We can't get mad into buying into something that looks like uh, a format, a blueprint that can be taken and modified to be something else or to be better. So, yeah, I had to hit you. You know, I got bars, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But no, to second what you saying, bro, he's got to go. No, if I don't give a fuck if this nigga dropped the song so good and Jesus had to come down and do the remix with him. I don't give a fuck. He's got to go. He's got to go, bro. He's got to go, bro. And everything that we thought he was, we may never let that trick happen to us again. May we never see a better version of an evil motherfucker like him. No, he's got to go. We have to stop tolerating fuck shit from our people because they're in a position to upgrade you. That is selfishness and that destroys our community because then they isolate. Then that's why how people become gatekeepers. What Kanye say? No one man should have all that power.
Right.
We got to start doing things by coalition. We don't give a fuck how much money you got. Remember the racial draft on Dave Chappelle. We have to
Yeah,
start
yeah, yeah, yeah,
moving.
yeah, 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 yeah.
We have to start moving in that type of unison. Yo, the Asians was geek when Wu Tang slipped in the draft and they got the Wu. See the whole Asian community throwing up the yo, they was
Yeah,
yeah, bro, they
yeah.
celebrated that. We had to
Thank-
make
um,
trade. We had the number one pick and had to make trades and everything else, man.
Right. But I want to ask this. I know you said the closing arguments, but when we see these signs, like just say at an early stage, do we banish them right away moving forward?
We can't allow. Okay, so the reason why I think Jay Z excelled, um, the way he did on us is because the mystery of Jay Z. Because he doesn't do a bunch of interviews. He doesn't come to the black culture to answer the questions that the community wants to know. So he was kind of like he was off limits to us. Like you even hear it with Miss Bleak. Like, yo, Miss Bleak could probably be the first and only person, but after these Epstein files, he won't get it. It won't happen. Um, they could possibly would have got Jay-Z on a podcast. We did see him on Kevin Hart's shit, but Kevin Hart's part of that alignment too. So I'm just saying, if we're allowing somebody to elevate in our community and you only want to go do high upper echelon media shit and you're not coming to give back to the grassroots people in media, then that to me is red flag number one, besides the allegations that we could have at that time. If you're not willing to come back to the same grassroots that propelled you up and give us what we need to know to make sure that we're secure in rocking with you, then yes, then we should start cutting them off then. Come talk to us, bro.
Right. So even somebody like Diddy, and he's not involved with this stuff that's been going on, but even somebody like him, when you hear him saying that he has jerked people out of contracts and things like that, do you think that he should be banished at that time when we find out that that's true?
Mentally, I did, man. When I felt like he was holding the locks back, that's when I couldn't fuck with Diddy no more. It started with Mace, but it was kind of like you don't know what Mace was on. Mace didn't start really speaking out until 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of hard to make that decision with Mace. But when the locks went on they We Are the Streets campaign, I think everybody that was familiar with them started looking at Diddy differently. Little Kim left. So if your whole team leaves you and you didn't go bankrupt, you propelled and made more money. That's a red flag too, bro. It's the same thing with The Rock.
But we all supported. We all supported the music. We supported the
because
clothes, the
because we're
liquor.
not
But
educated on who we're dealing with. We're not educated with the people that we look at as leadership. Whether we want to admit it or not, D. Marachi, these were our leaders for the last 20 years.
okay, fair to say.
If they weren't, there's no way politicians will be bringing these motherfuckers to political. You have never in your lifetime of politics ever seen niggerish rap motherfuckers being called by politicians to help their campaigns.
Right, right,
You know
and
they're trying to reach a certain demographic and they're using the people who are already aligned, people they already got dirt on, so they can't say no.
right.
They can't say no. So yeah, those are all red. Okay, listen. If you fool me once, shame on
Yep.
you.
If you fool me once,
Shame on you, bro. If
you
you fool me twice,
twice, shame on me. Right,
so
right.
we've seen as we look at Diddy, as we look at Jay, as we look at what happened to Pac, as we look at what happened to Suge, as we look at what happened to Herb, as we look at what happened to Jay Prince. Okay, we've seen all the moves. There's no way we should ever fall for him again, ever.
But do you think that? Well, you already said it. You already said it anyway. You already said it. You have the mind of an 18-year-old, plug. According to you.
Our leaders have been kids. Even in the day, right, where we had real leadership, and you want them to start young because they got that warrior attitude. They were at least 29, 30. You look at the Malcolm X's and shit. What I'm saying? You look at the Marcus Garveys, like, these guys were still relatively young and died young. They died before four. They were younger than us right now, bro. You get what I'm saying? So if our leaders and our leadership has came for dudes that were relatively not even hitting their prime of manhood yet before they're dead, then what do you think the mentality of our community is? These
Mm,
niggas not even reaching their prime of manhood.
right. And it's 18 to 25 is the
I
demographics.
wouldn't even give us 25 because at 25 you were able to, you know a little bit about life. You understand good decision making if you make it to 25 without having to reap the consequences of your bad decisions. So you start to make a better decision because you don't want to put. You've seen people fall off by the time you're 25. You seen people die by the time you're 25, young, super young. You know what I'm saying? So you start to make decisions that start to align your longevity by 25. We're not there. We're not there as a culture, my nigga. We still throwing our cap and gowns up. You know what I'm saying? We still celebrating one level of success, and that's just being able to go to college, get degrees, and get jobs. We're still celebrating that as civil rights, man. Like we're 18, bro. All we wanted was the opportunity to go to Yale. We got that, and we ain't asked for shit since. And we still don't go to Yale. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
we're 18, bro. We don't even know what we want. And I'll tell you this, black people, is damn sure ain't gonna be reparations. You can forget about that. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that idea of reparations, that's an old school mentality. That's an old school thought.
If we were smart, right? Because they have delegated, they will put 5, 10 billion towards the plight of black culture. They're just not willing. They don't know how to break it down to individuals. And I say, if we were smart and we had real leadership today, we would say, yeah, give us that 10 billion. We cool with that. 10 billion, and we need 50 national banks, at least one national bank in every state. That there is higher than a 20% black ratio at. So we probably don't need one in South Dakota. We don't need one in North Dakota. We don't need one in Montana. You know what I'm saying? But everywhere else, let's make sure we got a national bank or two, depending on the city size. Spread that
Mm-hmm.
10 billion to spread that 10 billion around to those banks, and that 10 billion goes directly towards businesses. If you're starting a business and you need some startup money, we don't got to go through the same type of scrutiny we got to go through with their banks. We can get finances to start companies, to start businesses, for innovative young kids coming out of college that have creative ideas, patents, things of that nature. That's what that $10 billion needs to be dedicated to. If you just give a bunch of niggas $250,000 checks, the cost of living is just going to go up again, and then these motherfuckers are going to blow it all on Hellcats and chains.
Mm. Yeah, that's true. Look at what happened in the pandemic. They blew the money.
Give us a bank, come in with your paperwork, your EIN numbers, your plan, your brick and mortar, and then you talking. We should be able to fund those type of things. You know what I'm saying? So we can build our own communities back up. People who do real estate can get back into building, and building nice facilities, not projects anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So money can start. We can start owning the stores and gas stations in our neighborhoods again. You know what I'm saying? To where I go through LA, bro, they got little Bangladesh out here, bro. It's Chinatown, it's Koreatown. You know what I'm saying? The Armenians got their part of town, little Armenia. Like they got all these places out here where it's their language on the buildings, their banks, their communities ran by them. They own the stores, they own those communities. We've been here. We don't have none of that.
Yeah, we can't go in their communities. We can't go in none of their communities and build our businesses.
They only come into our communities to take our money.
Exactly. We did an episode on that already. You know, it's, it's gonna be on our Patreon.
We
Yeah,
working on
man.
things over here, y'all. It's go 2026. It's gonna be a good year. B Marachi, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to Dirt. Shout out to Jen in the chat comment section. Hey, y'all spread the word, man. When y'all see us on here and y'all on live, send the link. Go to the share button. Send the link, man. Send it to your friends so they can come check it out. We're live. Let them know, hey, we live. Check these out. Help spread the word, man, on this dope ass content we giving y'all, because we haven't figured out this algorithm yet, and a lot of people are paying for the shit that you see. They're not really organically as big as they look. You know what I'm saying? And we're trying to do this shit the organic way over here, man. So
Right, right, right,
thanks
man.
for your support.
And if anything, yeah, just comment. Comment in the comment section
Hit
as
the
well.
like
Hit the like
button.
button.
Hit the
You know what I
subscribe
mean?
if you haven't, and share the content. Share the
Share
content.
share the content. But we on our way back. 2026, we definitely gonna make a splash, man. Plug Talk 4 is gonna be the hottest podcast out there, man. We are bringing you that raw and organic content, man. Yo, we would go deeper, but you know they'll snip us. But when you got this man beside you, we going straight to the top, man.
I ain't gonna let y'all down. I, you know what I'm saying? You're in good hands like all state over here. I'll tell you that much, man. It's like giving Jordan the ball with 6 seconds left. You know we about to win. You know we about to win.
Right,
Y'all know the routine, man. Y'all been around long enough, man. And, you know, we gotta get out of here. We got bills to pay. So you ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the fuck out of here. Shout out to my co-host. Shout out to everybody that support came through tonight. But we out this bitch. Plugs off, folks. Peace and blessings.